The movie 300 depicts the unequal battle of 300 Spartans under the command of King Leonidas confronted 1,000,000 troops of the ancient Persian Empire. In ancient Sparta there was a custom to kill sick or deformed babies from birth, keeping only the healthiest children from the moment they could walk. They have been forged in battle and violence, taught never to back down, never to give up. To die on the battlefield for Sparta is the ultimate glory that warriors can win in a lifetime. At the age of 7 the boy was separated from his mother and began rigorous training. Competition violence is the life purpose of warriors, must steal, have to exploit, even kill, and be punished with whips. In order to be recognized as an adult, warriors must hunt on the winter night, without clothes, faced with wild beasts. He crouched in the rocky alley, not afraid, but his senses were on maximum alert. At last the boy grew up, returned from the dead, returned to the people of Sparta. He was crowned king, that was the Emperor Leonidas. One day the Persian delegation sends messengers to Sparta to call for surrender. The black messenger wears a trendy inner ring in his nose. He pulls out a string of king's skulls to intimidate. Right now Leonidas is teaching his son to fight. As the saying goes, the more you practice the less you bleed on the battlefield. The soldier reported to the king a Persian messenger arrived. The king tells his son the true strength of a soldier is the warriors who stand by him. Give him respect and pride, he will do the same to you. The king displeased the messenger, who said, "You should know one thing, even the king must be careful with his words." After hearing the statements from the black man, knowing the intent to invade Persia, the king and queen stand with their feet tired and say, "Dream, honey, there's nothing here in Sparta." The black man changes his attitude and looks down on the queen, as this woman has no right to talk. The extravagant messenger threatens Leonidas to beware of his life. The king of Persia will soon invade this place. A huge army with every step. This army will cause the earth to shake. They will drink up every river, eat up every field. The Negro asks the king to bow before the mighty Persia. Leonidas says, if the Athenians have the guts to refuse you, won't we be equal to them? The Negro tells the king to be careful with his mouth. You dare to come here with the heads of kings, insult my wife, threaten my people with death and slavery. This is Sparta. After saying that, Leonidas kicks him into the well, and the men who are with him are also killed. Leonidas and the people of Sparta are ready to fight. However, in order to lead an army to battle, it is customary to make sacrifices to the gods. Leonidas climbs the mountain alone and draws up a plan to fight the shamans. They are a bunch of people born deformed, looking more like animals than people. They like morbid beasts who choose beautiful girls to live with. As a prophet after being rejected by the gods, Leonidas had just left when a very long and clear sound of money appeared. The Persian messenger successfully bribes the spirit and the generals. He says, "When Sparta is destroyed, you will bathe in gold coins." Seeing that his homeland is about to be engulfed in flames, Leonidas is forced to resist the will of the gods. The queen says to her husband, "You should not ask the Spartans what to do or what the king will do in war, but ask what a free man will do." The next morning, exactly 300 brothers have all gathered on the dock under the boat. They all have sons. One brother says, "We will fight with you to the death." Among the 300 brothers there is the captain's son. Leonidas doesn't want him to go to war because he is too young and the only son of the captain, but the captain says he is an exemplary young man and capable of fighting. Leonidas praised both father and son for having high national spirit. At this time a corrupt official comes to oppose the king. Leonidas says that he is just going for a walk, and the other 300 brothers follow him for protection. The army remains stationary in Sparta. 300 people cannot be considered an army. He has to open his eyes wide watching the warriors on the road. The queen gives the king the necklace and says, "Return with your shield, or you lie gloriously upon it." On the way there are also some brothers from neighboring countries who want to join Sparta, but when they see Leonidas' warrior wearing only briefs, they show contempt. Leonidas points to one of them and asks, "What do you do?" "I work as a worker in a pottery village." Continue, "What did that guy do?" "I work as an engraver." "Behind is a blacksmith." Leonidas turns to his soldiers and asks, "What do you do?" The cheers broke out and Leonidas laughs, "Then I have more warriors than you." Arriving in a village, the Persians massacre all the people and ruthlessly hang the Spartans' corpses on a tree. The warriors also understand the king's heart. Why lead them to death? When they see 1,000,000 warriors of Persia, their patriotism overcomes their fear, ready to die for the honor, responsibility, and glory of Sparta. Perhaps the gods also support these great warriors. The sea is stormy. Thousands of ships are sunk to the bottom of the sea. However, for the large army of millions of people here, it is nothing. What the Spartans longed for is a glorious death on the battlefield. At this time the Spartans are building a stone statue. Persia sends messengers. He claims to be the messenger of the gods, the king of kings. With that authority, he wants to meet the leader of Sparta. He is horrified when he sees the wall is built with the corpses of his scouts. While swinging the cloud whip, a warrior flies up and cuts off his arm, followed by thousands of warriors approaching the canyon. Leonidas cheers his warriors Here we will hold them, and here they will die on the shields of Sparta. The vanguard of Persia leading 5,000 infantrymen, and shouting loudly a spear pierced him from above, gently taking the first victory. Leonidas tells the warriors to set up their troops. 300 soldiers firmly holding their shields joined forces to resist the onslaught of the enemy. Their spears carry great will and determination. Each spear stabs the enemy. The power is like a storm the enemy can't resist. The sharp blade that slices through the body of the enemy is dubbed the undead fierce. With the strength of Sparta warriors, 5,000 infantry leave, only a few survivors. At this point Leonidas begins to play with them, forcing them to fall into the abyss. 5,000 infantry completely annihilated. Before celebrating the victory, the sky began to darken, looking up to see millions of arrows flying, so much so that it even blocked the sunlight. The Spartan warriors gently take up their shields. After the rain comes the cavalry. The mighty king says not a single Spartan warrior has to die today. The defensive state is immediately activated. They do what they are trained to do every day, what the Spartans are born to do. No prisoners, no concessions. Victory is something too easy for them. Standing in the cool breeze, Leonidas says, preparing the 20 best for his upcoming campaign. While eating apples, he hears that a small group of troops is approaching. Leonidas alone comes to meet these people. It turned out that is Xerxes, the emperor of Persia. He wants to have a little chat with Leonidas. He says it is a waste for a brave emperor like him to live with people wearing only briefs like that. The king replies, we are the best brothers together. We stand up against piercers like you. He begins promising to make Leonidas king of all Greece, dominating all of Europe. If only Leonidas kneels down to be his servant. Only a fool will refuse that right. Leonidas says, you see, this morning fighting with your stragglers makes my legs so numb. How can I kneel now? Xerxes is enraged and swears that he would erase Sparta, leaving Leonidas unknown to anyone. Perhaps before the war ends, the holy king will have to shed his blood. They pile up the Persian warriors into a high wall. That night the deadliest army in Asia, the immortal army, arrived, but Xerxes is an overly complacent king, easily provoked, easily deceived. He launches the trump card. 300 Spartan warriors push down the wall of corpses and attack. The immortals are standing before Leonidas. Test their faces are fierce, as if they have just escaped from hell. With the strength of Spartan warriors, the immortals like rats offering the mouths of cats. They let go of the big monster, who throw the axe at Leonidas. Fortunately he dodges in time. The monster pinned down him to the ground. But to be able to fight the king, he is not talented enough. Soon this guy also returned to the ground. Neighboring brothers come to the rescue in time. These warriors confuse the immortal army. More and more corpses. The immortal army is just a name before the mighty king. Leonidas, the king of Persia, stands on high and sees the whole scene. He begins to feel a chill down his spine. Nothing could defeat the Spartans. Dawn following, the sound of whips and howls resounded in the sky. The people behind shout forward, the people in front shout back. Not only that, there is also a giant rhinoceros. It seemed that nothing could stab it, but before it reaches the hairs of the warriors, it is already defeated. When physical damage fails, they turn to use magic. Although there is a slight flicker, at first these mages are powerless to resist. Once again Leonidas sends corpses and bloody hearts to the feet of King Xerxes. Xerxes is furious with his generals. A team of elephant soldiers from halfway around the world appears here. They also have the same end as the previous army, being pushed into the abyss. The mighty Persian army is seen as a joke, allowing Spartan warriors to freely kill. Because of his lack of vigilance, the captain's son died. Seeing his son's headless body, the captain rushes out of the ranks. He is madly drunk with blood and killing. At this time there is a man who has just come to join Xerxes. He is the son of Sparta. When he was rejected by Emperor Leonidas, he held a grudge in his heart. Xerxes gives him everything he wants, gold coins and prostitutes. Xerxes asks him to lead the Persian army along a secret path, attacking Leonidas' warriors. At home the traitor lures the queen that he will send reinforcements to the king, on the condition that the queen gives him sex. Now in the canyon the informant tells Leonidas the hunchback guides the Persians, who are detouring the canyon to attack us. This however doesn't terrify him, which is what Leonidas expected. He prepares for a glorious death. No retreat, no surrender, that's the law of Sparta. Everyone will know that 300 Spartans fight bravely to defend their country. Leonidas calls Dilios out for a walk with him. He wants him to return to Sparta. Not only is he a good warrior, but he also has a talent for speaking. Let him convey his final orders to Sparta, and all of Greece tell them about 300 warriors. Then he takes off the necklace and gives it to Dilios, gives it to the queen, and leaves no message. The king reassures the army everyone should eat a full breakfast, because tonight we will have dinner in hell. At the council meeting the traitor reveals his affair with the queen. He has angered the wrong person. This is the wife of the emperor Leonidas, not an ordinary person. The queen stabs him with a knife. The Persian gold coins falling to the ground proved who the traitor is. Soon the Persian army has covered the blood gate, and Xerxes sits on the throne, his archer ready to attack. Xerxes' brother comes to recruit Leonidas again, sacrificing 1,000,000 troops this time, in exchange for Leonidas alone doesn't feel like a waste. Using beautiful words to praise the country, Sparta will be stronger than ever. Just Leonidas kneeling to Lord Xerxes. Leonidas takes off his helmet, drops his spear, and begin to kneel. Lord Xerxes seems to have reached the peak of joy. He feels extremely satisfied. Suddenly, with a loud shout from the Emperor Leonidas, a warrior flies up and stabs Xerxes' brother to death. Leonidas picks up the spear and throws it toward Xerxes. He orders them all to be killed. The spear flies through his mouth into the throne. The King of Kings, the God of the gods, is in great panic. Before he dies, a soldier holds Leonidas' hand and says, "Brother, it is an honor to fight with you." Then Leonidas stands before tens of thousands of enemy troops. He feels honored to die on the battlefield, has fulfilled his promise to the queen and his ancestor Sparta. At the same time, the messenger has returned to his homeland. He hands the necklace to the queen. He also passes orders from king to the council: no memorial, no praise, just remember us. After that, any free man passing by that land, no matter how many centuries, can still hear the voices of Spartan warriors whispering from the ageless rocks, tell about the feat of defending the country. A year later, General Dilios leads 10,000 Spartans, 30,000 free Greek soldiers, to fight against Persia. With this advance, the King of Kings, the God of the gods, is defeated. The movie is over. Welcome to see you in the next videos.